What's going on, everyone? A very, very happy Sunday evening to where you guys are all at. It is May 1st, Sunday afternoon, and you guys can already say we've been through the first 4 months of the year. And, a lot of things have happened in the first 4 months of the year, and we're growing. And listen, I want to thank each and every one of you. Take this time to thank each and every one of you for just kind of bearing with us. We've had good days, we've had bad days, we've had some happy moments, some negative moments, and taking the journey with us is no surprise. Okay, thank you guys for taking that journey with us as we. I remember when we first started our show back in August, and it was a couple days a week, and we really didn't know the direction that we were going in. And so to be able to make those changes throughout the fall time and the winter time, we picked up 5 days a week. And, a lot of people will say, hey, you guys are crazy going 5 days a week. What are you guys doing? Well, we started figuring out what type of show we are and how we are going to run our show. And that alone sat tremendously with everybody, with us. All right. Trey was fully on board. I'm the one who sat there and said, hey, listen, hey, Trey, I have an idea. It's a crazy idea. But what would you say if we could commit you to doing 3 to 4 days a week? Let's, instead of being on twice a week and try to cover everything, and let's broaden our show. Okay, let's not just talk about wrestling. Let's talk about sports and baseball, football, hockey, basketball, anything else that is playing around the world. All right, let's talk about that. And let's, instead of just going 3 times a week, let's do it on a daily basis so that we can break down stories as they come out. And so beginning on, this year, that's what we did. And we appreciate each and every one of you for coming here, tuning into us, letting us talk about sports, listening to us. And listen, there's a lot of competition out there. All right. You got guys like the Pat McAfee Show on YouTube. You got, the Undisputed and the Colin Cowherd on ESPN, And there's a lot of different programs that you guys could tune in and listen to. And you guys choose to listen to us. And we deeply appreciate it. It is May 1st. And, we're talking about appreciation because today's Sunday. And this past week has been very offsetting for me. And I know that maybe some of the distraction has been offsetting. I don't know how much I would have even considered doing a show this week with what was going on in my personal life. So for everyone who knows the details, all right, I thank you. I applaud, thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing the love, the support, the willingness to stand by and, support me. Trey's on vacation. He left on Thursday. And, now he's at this Hulkamania store, that I tremble. So understanding what Trey does, every year, he will take a vacation and he goes down to Florida. Now, he's already invited me out for next year's vacation. And I want to go. I want to experience what he has to experience. I don't, traveling, I want to get out and travel and do this and do that. So I am eager to go. But what I'm not eager to do is skip a week of this show unless I have good people to not replace, but to temporarily fill in our positions. Because it's all about continuing the content. I was talking to Trey about this the other day because I was like, man, I just don't know if I want to do a show. I was complexing about yesterday, which was an off day for me. I don't know if I was going to do a show yesterday. And, so I sat down with Trey and I was like, Trey, man, I'm just not going to, I just don't know if I'm going to do it. He's like, man, you got to keep the product going, because once you get off the routine, here on out, it's going to fail. So you really need to keep yourself going. And how do you keep yourself going is by, keep on putting out content, and we just actually, and I'll talk about this here in a little bit, but we just actually changed our audio platform to speaker. So, and that really now it benefits us in a sense of, hey, now, we could expand our product. People could listen to us not only in certain areas of demographic range. Now, the only thing that sucks about that is that, okay, what we do have to do is we have to kind of promote our product out there, and hopefully everyone who is listening to us on a regular basis, on our old account, it's coming over to the new account because we can't joint them together. So that is news to us. But, this was a big week, and I'm kind of a little disappointed in myself for not providing the best coverage, the best content that I could possibly provide. Now, I will say this, that the WWE and professional wrestling has been kind of on the stalemate, all right, to say. Ever since WrestleMania, and I don't know what it is, but ever since WrestleMania, I've kind of been sitting back and not really tuning as much in. It hasn't really hit hard. Now, coming up next Sunday, one thing that we will get into is that you will see WrestleMania Backlash next Sunday, May the 8th. And I'm excited to get ready for that. But how much of the excitement are you sincerely looking for? Because for me, we're seeing a rematch between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. We're seeing, and not saying that I don't want to see that match, there's not much more flair to it, in my opinion. And I'll pop up the match card here in just a little bit. But we're seeing that. We're also seeing, we're going to be seeing Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match. Now, I've already expressed my opinion how this Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair feud should have been a submission match back at WrestleMania. I mean, hey, I don't know if you've been living underneath the rock, but they've been talking about it from day one. And I wonder how this I Quit match is going to end. So I'm excited to see that match, but I'm a little disappointed because what we should have saw at WrestleMania, we are now seeing at WrestleMania Backlash. So, there's a few matches that are intriguing, but I just haven't really been following. I think one thing that settled me the most about wrestling, especially this past week, you want to talk about this past week, and there's not a whole lot to talk about, is the fact that SmackDown was taped because they went to the UK to put on a show. Now, I don't know. I guess that's where I'm lost, because I don't know why you would tape a show before you go international to put on a product. Why couldn't it have been done live? Because it's been done before. And I was remember, because it was 2 weeks ago, or was it last week, that after SmackDown, I was just watching Snapchat for a moment, and I'm like, there's some SmackDown stuff going on at 11 p.m. Eastern time. What's going on? Because SmackDown's over with. Turns to find out that they held a double show. And I'm like, really? You hold a double show? Why are you holding a double show? Because, and I'm like, okay, well, they're going to UK, but then I guess that's the other question. Why are you holding a double show if you're going to be in UK? And, they explain, and I really don't quite know the answer. I haven't found a link, a source, an article, or anything on why they wouldn't go live in UK. If you want to talk about COVID protocol, I understand, but at the same time, I don't, because then why is the WWE going over there if they're still under COVID restrictions? Because it takes, I mean, there's not much more people going across seas with the WWE when they go live. So I guess I wonder, why did they tape it? It just doesn't make sense to me. And for me, it felt like I got extremely excited because now remember that day, because I took my daughters out to the old spaghetti factory. All right. I had a great dinner with them, came back here, tuned on the end of SmackDown out there on my porch, and then I was getting excited because I heard that not only we were going to see Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair in a, what do you want to call it? I quit, beat the, submission, or I quit, beat the clock challenge, which was like the first of its kind. And then I was going to get excited for that. I was like, I got to tune in for this. And then I didn't know how to present myself when I heard, I got like new excitement when we found out that Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre was going to go one-on-one inside a steel cage. And so there was enough stuff to convince me to, hey, let's tune into SmackDown back on Friday. Well, then I go on to Snapchat and I'm like, I've already seen this, because now they're spoiling it. People, social media today, people on their phones recording it, giving you the results. Why it kind of deteriorated why I wanted to watch it to begin with. So did I watch SmackDown on Friday? No, I did not. That's why I'm not coming to you, talking to you about what SmackDown has to offer or what the WWE has to offer, because we already knew the results prior to the event even being aired publicly. Well, Justin, you can still talk about it, of course. And yeah, you know what? I'm sure I can talk about till the cows come home. But I guess I'm still a little upset, and I hold that little grudge to WWE. And why did they decide not to go live early on SmackDown? Now, so I don't know. We may get into that. We may talk about that. What I want to talk about here today is that I do want to kind of review the 6 men that the Cincinnati Bengals drafted in this 2021's draft picks. Okay. You have Daxton Hill. You have Cam Taylor-Britt, Zachary Carter, Cordell Vonson, Tyson Anderson, and then Jeffrey Gunter. Now, what I want to ask you guys, and what I want you guys to be able to, think about this throughout, while we talk about this, and we'll cover it when we come back from break in our program. But I want to kind of talk down to you guys, let you guys know what these statuses have. I want you to see, okay, who was the bigger and better trade, who was the worst trade, what worked, what didn't work. I want to talk about all that stuff as well. And did the Cincinnati Bengals do what they needed to do in order to accomplish what they needed to accomplish in the 2022 draft? That's what I want to ask you guys. Let me know in your opinion. And according to the stats, what did they do well? So out of the 6 guys that they drafted this year, there was only one of them that was a offensive lineman, Cordell Vonson. And that was one of the big things that we needed to address on, in the draft this season. I feel like that was one of the biggest things. One of the biggest things was the Bengals needed protection on the line. I believe everyone agreed, even non-Bengals fans agreed that they needed to protect Joe Burrow on that line. And I don't know if people, if people are satisfied in that fact that they've only drafted one offensive lineman in the draft. And that was in the 4th round. And everyone else that they drafted was defensive players, which was the second arsenal of attack. So did the Bengals do enough to spark attention that saying that, hey, what we drafted was good enough? We'll break down every player, okay, because I want to talk about each and every player. I also want to talk about the Cincinnati Reds, who just continue, you guys, to, I mean, the last time I checked, and I'll check it right now for you guys, they were down 9-1 in the 6th against the Rockies. They lost the first 2. And they lost 10-1. Just doesn't look good. I can't explain it. I don't know what else that we could talk about with the Cincinnati Reds that is, trying to stay on the positive note. I mean, I could bash the Reds, but you guys don't want to hear me go on and on and on about bashing people. So we'll cover the draft. We'll cover a little bit of that. Who else did I have over here? Kelsey Whitmore becomes the first woman to start a game in the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball. I'll read that article. Did you guys know Brian Myers, a.k.a. Kurt Hawkins, is now a free agent? Where is he going? Giants trade first baseman Mike Ford ahead of Saturday's game against the National. Talk about a little bit about that. Give you that update as well. Tennessee Titans, oh man, making some releases here. Titans released veteran quarterback on Saturday night after the draft and after taking Liberty star Malik Willis in the 3rd round of the 2022 NFL draft. The Titans quarterback rooms become a little bit more crowded. Back on Saturday, the Tennessee Titans have released veteran quarterback Kevin Hogan. We'll get more into details about that. What do you guys think about Lamar Jackson's statement about losing Marquez Brown? So we'll talk a little bit about that. We're just getting on the way, but we're going to take our first time out right here. Don't go anywhere here. You guys are listening to Justin and Trey on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. TNC Sports Talk is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best men's below-the-waist grooming. With their product are precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, joining over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. Today, save 20% and free worldwide shipping with code TNC20 at manscaped.com. If my math's correct, that is about 8 million balls. You guys get 20% off and free shipping with code TNC20 at manscaped.com. That is 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with promo code TNC20. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job. You know, I got to say about Manscaped, I use the product every day. To find the product that is to find a product that you could be comfortable using, which is, it's not an easy walk in the park to be using some of these products. To find that certain, I'm a guy, I'm a simple guy. I'm really that simple. Okay. Use a product that works and that you could stick with. I don't want a product that is only seasonal. Okay. I don't want a product that only works, that only, this is a trial run. When it comes down to body wash, when it comes down to deodorant, when it comes down to personal grooming, I like to stick with the same product again and again and again. And then that's just me. Okay. Now, listen, as you get older, men have grooming problems. Okay. Not every man is smooth at their grooming technicians. Manscaped provides that safe, security, confident level that you need as a man. Okay. And easy to go to. It's not hard to find the product. Head on over to Manscaped. Find the product that works for you. And listen, they don't just have the grooming. They don't just have that lawnmower 4.0. We talked about this before. They don't just have that razor edge. Listen, I haven't charged this thing since I got it. Okay, the first day I got it, I put it on the charger. Haven't had to charge it since. It's wonderful, easy to handle. I love handling the product. And they don't just have that. They have that they have deodorant, they have cologne, they got body wash, they got soap, they got spray that you can use. And if you go there, listen, you got birthdays this summertime, it's getting hot outside. I know it's getting hot. I'm sweating as is already on this show. Manscaped's the way to go. Head on over to Manscaped, let them take care of you. And when you order, get that free shipping, take advantage of that offer, and save 20% off at TNC Sports Talk. Save 20% off by using TNC20. Right? TNC20. Let me not confuse you there. But we want to thank Manscaped for trusting in our shows, trusting in what we provide out, the content we provide out, for wanting to pick up a sponsorship with us. So thank you, Manscaped. All right. Let's kind of bring over to some other things. Just getting in the comments here with Trey. I don't know where he's coming from Orlando. Checked us out for a few minutes. So thank you, Trey. And I do want to dive in. I'll tell you about it. First of all, let me tell you about it being hot. Because I don't do good in heat. I think I've explained this before. When it comes down to temperatures, I do not do good in heat. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate the warmth. Okay. I like it being warm. When it gets above 85, it gets a little bit more embarrassing for me. See, I'm a guy that does, listen, I'm a little bit more overweight. Okay. I like to stay cool. And listen, if I'm driving in the car and it's over 80 degrees, I have that AC on. That's just my natural being. So I just don't like to be able to, feel uncomfortable. I get out of the shower and I feel like I have to jump back in the shower. Just not how I am. But it's nice and warm out here. I want to say it was it's in the the 70s right now. I don't know the temperature off the top of my head. Just trying to find that for you guys. It wants to load. It says it's 73, and it's beautiful. There's a nice breeze. It's not really raining like it said it was supposed to rain today. It's a little warm outside, but I really do enjoy the temperature. Now, this is me being a Colonel Budget on the other hand, because I don't have the AC on. Now, you guys may, while I'm speaking, may hear like a breeze background, and that is because I actually have this table fan. Let me see what you set up here. Yeah, you got some from a terrible store. Terrible store. Trey says here, I got some awesome stuff from Hogan's store. What a terrible store. can't wait for you to show us your experience when you get back. You go enjoy your little vacation. And by the way, when you come back, I'm going to send this message to you. But when you come back, I go on vacation for the month, and you could do this show 5 days a week. How about that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go enjoy your vacation. I'm going to give him help for this until the cows come home. But okay, so anyways, so what I'm trying to say is that you guys, I see, just I'm going to turn you this way with this camera. So this is kind of my setup down here. And I don't know if you guys can see, I have this little table fan that's full blast already. And I have this fan, all right, because this is what I need. I need this fan. I need this. It keeps me cool. Now, you're like, well, Justin, why don't you just turn on the AC? Well, no, I'm not willing to spend, listen, when you see your electric bill at $30, all right, let me put it that way. When you see your electric bill at $30, you're like, I don't want to turn on that AC. I think I turned on that AC. Well, let's see, that was back in April, so it may be higher. But I don't want that because it's so easy to get that electric bill above $150. And I'm like, oh, no, please don't. Please don't. So, yeah, if you guys hear that breeze, that's because I do have a fan here. Get used to it. His name is Brad. All right. And he's a good friend of mine, and he keeps me cool during the summertime. So, yeah. All right, so I wanted to get to you guys and start talking a little bit about the draft picks that happened over this past weekend. The NFL 2022 draft, I believe it came from Vegas, happened this weekend. And one of the key things, if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, one of the key things from Cincinnati that we were addressing is the fact that you had two goals on your agenda that you needed to accomplish in this draft. One, number one first major goal is having an offensive line, because we knew at the end of the year that Joe Burrow just got punished. And if he's going to be the face of your franchise, and the Joe Burrow is going to be the guy that you're expecting to last a long time in the league, then you need to find a way to protect him. We knew that is a set in stone process. So we knew going into the offseason that the Bengals needed to focus in on the linemen. I mean, this guy, and you got to give Joe Burrow another level of respect. And when I say about that, I really truly mean another level of respect, because this guy, after getting sacked 9 times against the Titans in the divisional game, he got sacked so many, I don't even know the number of times, against Kansas City. And then I believe he tied, if not, he stands alone against as the only NFL player to get sacked the most times at the Super Bowl. So if you are the Cincinnati Bengals, you got to invest. You got to find a way to protect your investment. So this year, what did the Bengals do in the offseason? Well, the first week, I'm talking about the first week or two, the Bengals ended up signing a couple really good free agent offensive linemen. Now, I can't rattle those names off the top of my head. There's too many tabs up on my computer getting ready for what I'm about to go over. But what did the Bengals do? They picked up 3 key offensive linemen. I know that one of them came from Dallas. Another one came from New England. I don't know where that third one came from, but I know that they picked up 3. And these are not just your everyday or like your average Joe. Let me see if I can find it here. Take a moment searching it up. You're like, Justin, you should have this already. Yeah. You know what? I should have, but I didn't. So what are you gonna do? So let's go to Bengals.com. Let's visit the team. Say hi to everybody. Let's go. I want to go roster. Okay. So I don't. Okay, let's go position wise. So centers, you got Lamont Gillard, Trey Hill, and Ted Karras. Ted Karras was one of those guys who they picked up from a different team. Let's see if we could get that information. He's from Illinois. He was. His last game was against the Dolphins, week 18. Okay. I don't know here. Here we go. Career. So just got to click. Bear with me, you guys. All right. So his career, he spent. So this is actually just very. So he came back. He was drafted from Illinois. He came from Illinois. Yeah, and he was originally the 6th-round pick for the Patriots in 2016. Spent his times with the Patriots and the Dolphins. Played in 93 career games. Started in 49, seeing both as a guard and a center. So offensive lineman, very well. Now he could be used as a guard. He could be used as a center. They have 3 centers, and I'll get back to that here in a moment. Last year, he played in 17 NFL games. All right, that's the way he played for. In 2020, he played he basically played every game of the season. 2020, 2017, 2016, 2018 was hurt for a few weeks. In 2015, I think he's missed a few days. So he hasn't missed a whole lot. He's there's not really much that you could tell off of an offensive line, but he's healthy. And I think that's another key, is having these offensive linemen that stay healthy. So Ted Karras was one of those guys who came over from New England that is healthy. And for me to say, all right, you got a healthy player, or a guy that you could depend on or rely on at least playing each and every game, that's a start for me. Now, they have 4 guards. Okay, whether Ted Karras is going to be a guard or a, what do you want to call guard or a center, that is still yet to be determined. I don't care where you play them, but you got Hakeem Adeniji. Sorry if I butcher that name. You got Alex Cappa. We'll talk about Alex Cappa later. Jackson Cameron, Deontay Smith. So let's take a look at Alex Cappa, because he was another guy that was brought over who previously played. Okay, we could take a look at his career so far. He's played. Well, there's really no results there. Alex Cappa was the 5th player out of Humboldt State University, originally a 3rd-round pick from Tampa Bay in 2018. He spent each of his first 4 seasons, 2018, 2021, with the Buccaneers. He's played 52 career games, and he started in 46. Now, I don't have much more on that, on health-wise. But if listen, previous Super Bowl champion, and Alex Cappa, you kind of have to be confident, hey, listen, we have someone that has a potential, of being good out there. All right, let's not give that up. And then, all right, let me scroll down here, because then we have to look at we have Cordell Vonson. We'll get to him in a little bit. Offensive tackle, Lareal Collins, Isaiah Prince, and Jonah Williams. Let me just see anything else. Oh, that's it. All right, so let me see if I can find a little bit more information. Transactions, how about that? Because I know this was a big deal. All right. Yeah, so there was all right. So the Bengals on March 18th signed Alex Kappa as a guard from Tampa Bay and Hayden Hurst from Atlanta. All right, as a free. They re-signed Brandon Allen as a quarterback, probably back up for Joe Burrow. They signed on, and this is all on the 18th. Wide receiver Mike D. Thomas from, they re-signed him. And then they terminated the contract of Trey Hopkins. All right. Now, the day before, the March 17th, they signed Ted Karras from New England, re-signed Michael J. Thomas, signed defensive tackle Josh Tupou, and let go. And then CJ Ozuma left to the Jets. Then on the 20th, 2 days later, they signed free agent Lyle Collins, an offensive tackle. And then they re-signed Fred John. Well, they re-signed. It was interesting because on 3/22 they re-signed Fred Johnson, and then they waived his contract up. All right. So I want the point. The reason why I'm going over this is because I want you to understand the attention that we had. Three guys. One, a guy that was formerly with the Dallas Cowboys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New England Patriots, all known to be good teams that have offensive alignment. We know that. That's what we do know, right? Well, you wanted to address the number one factor of the Bengals season this year. That was the offensive line. Bengals get so many injuries, or not so many injuries. Joe Burrow gets sacked so many times and gets banged up. You're not going to keep him longevity. So it's important. Did they do enough? Because this NFL draft that we're about to go over and the 6 picks that they selected, that says the story of where you felt the Bengals needed to help the most. So let's continue that conversation when we get back. Justin and Trey, right here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel, is presented by, or it's given to you thanks to StreamYard Studios, where you can create podcasts, YouTube videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews. Check out their free version at StreamYard.com today. All right. Justin and Trey continues right after this. Justin and Trey on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. All right. You guys, I just want to give a shout out to Epic Demit Sound. Discover your world-class artists, composers, and bands. Find the perfect soundtrack and give your social media accounts the music they deserve. Epic Demit Sound is a royalty-free music. Link for more information. Check out epicdemicsound.com. All right. I told you we're going to talk about the NFL draft for the Cincinnati Bengals and how the Bengals have done, and we will get to that. Let's get to this quick promotional ad, and we'll continue that in here next. You guys can join Steve Barber and Dwaylen Davis as they break down news highlights in professional wrestling. The Armchair Booking Podcast is a weekly wrestling podcast found on YouTube and all audio streaming platforms. Go check out and follow Armchair Booking today. Now, listen, I've been told, I've been speaking with Dwaylen. Okay, so I have speaking with Steve, and they have. Hold on 1 second. I've been speaking with Steve, and I was just actually on an episode called Cubicle Chat that he's had back in the back in the well, I won't say back in the day, but so Steve Barber just created this new podcast called Cubicle Chat, and I was actually on an episode earlier this week. Just it's non-wrestling podcast, and so as they are starting to explore the non-wrestling side of things. So, armchair booking, still very good podcast. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little distraction here tonight. But listen, armchair. All right, I think I'm good. So, armchair booking. Check out that, and also try to follow their link on social media accounts because they're doing a lot of other things that. I apologize. All right. Let's focus our turn point here on the NFL draft. I wanted to get through the NFL draft. I want to get through the NFL draft here and talk about the picks that the Bengals have made this season or this draft season. And I want to talk about that. I want to go over the 6 guys that they drafted. Okay. And the 6 guys here, from my recollection. All right. So I just got mine. So the Bengals' first round pick, Daxton Hill. Second round pick, Cam Taylor and Taylor Britt. Okay. Zachary Carter, Cordell Vonson in the 4th round. Tyson Anderson in the 5th round. Now, the Bengals traded in their 6th round with Buffalo. And then in the 7th and final round, they picked up Jeffrey Gunter. And we're going to go over all 6 of those guys here in a moment. So let's take a look at the first. Now, let me keep in mind the first guy. Hold on 1 second. Let's do this. Come on. I have to do something real quick. I apologize. This is not fun for me. Oh. Yay, that's what. All right. So, there we go. Sorry, I had to make sure I had to get this done really quick, and I apologize for the delay. All right, so let's take a look at what we got going on here for the Bengals. Okay, the first round pick, safety, cornerback, defensive end, guard, safety again, and edge. Those are your 6 guys. Now, here's my question to you. Did the Cincinnati Bengals do enough this draft? So let's attack it this way. I had a lot of people come to me and said that the number one thing the Bengals need to attack on during the draft was the offensive line, right? If they picked up 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 key players in the offensive draft or in the offseason, could have they gone a different route, which obviously they did. Okay. They picked up 3 key players for the offensive line. And in this draft, they decided that they picked up, or that they decided that they were going to pick up defensive players. That was their primary focus point. Now, listen, you could tell a lot about a team when they pick up a defensive player, about how they format their draft, where they think is a strategic focus point. Now, we already know. All right, I talked to Trey about this. We already know. We already know that the Bengals had 2 criterias. And I'm gonna like, I was talking to Trey about this right before he went on vacation. He was like, man, I'm upset because they didn't pick an offensive line. Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. The offensive line was addressed in the offseason. The first week was ideal to, how do I put this? The first week was ideal to of the offseason was to pick up the 3 guys, and they did. Tate Karras, Alex Kappa, and is it Lyle Collins? They did that job. I don't know, by having to pick the number 31st, being in the first round, I don't know how they were going to be able to pick up an offensive lineman. Now, you don't have to pick them up. So I guess I'm starting to lose my train of thought here. Earlier just really got to me. All right. Let's approach it this way. The Cincinnati, I'm going to tell you just my straight out thought. The Cincinnati Bengals, I believe, had a very successful draft season this year. I understand that they didn't throw out and pick up oh gosh. Well, I hate this. Don't mind me if I get distracted. But the Bengals won this off-season draft. And let's take a look at what they got. All right, we're going to take a look at the first 3 guys. They picked up in the first round. They picked up Daxton Hill. All right, He is a defensive back from Michigan. He's 6 foot tall. He's 192 pounds. Let's take a look at what he's done. Okay. Let's take a look at what he's done in Michigan. He's played in the Big Ten. He's a junior. He's only been in the college basketball for three years. Okay, 3 years. Okay, he's played in, I gotta do the math, 26, 32 games. He's had 149 tackles, 7.5 losses, so it's not that big. He's had a half a sack. He's had 4 interceptions, and I'm reading this here. 4 interceptions, and he passes defended was 15 in his career, and fumbles recovery was 3. I'm going to be honest with you guys for a second. Not the most impressive. They have receiving and rushing here. Let me read that really fast. Michigan for the 3 years, he defensive back. He's had 1 reception, 25 yards. As a freshman, it looked like he played the other side of the ball. Excuse me. Gosh, where's my manners? Okay, so a lot of this stuff was happening back in 2021. He's played in 14 games in 2021. His numbers were just as good as 2019. I'm assuming he got hurt in senior year. Well, probably because of COVID, right? I mean, short season, you were limited to the amount of games being played. I just don't know if he has enough experience, and to draft him, there's a big confidence. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, let me tell you guys my honest opinion about Daxton Hill. I don't think that this is a bad pick. Now, if you want to go start comparing him to some of these other guys, for example, when we come back from break, Cam Taylor. Now, he's a cornerback. He's also a defensive back. He's played for 4 years. He has some more consistent numbers. I'm more comfortable with him. Now, we're not going to get into Zach Carter, defensive end, defensive linebacker. All right, he's played for 4 years. Another guy who's grown but has more consistent numbers. I think overall, Daxton Hill, I think that, if you're confident enough to pick him, I think they see something in him. I just don't know what I technically see in the first 3 years, but I don't know. Maybe there's some polishing that this Bengals team could do here. All right, let's get our heads back on right here on a Sunday night, and let's finish off an hour number 2 with the bang. Justin and Trey right here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. You guys can shop TNC Sports Talk merchandise today at TeePublic. Get your t-shirts, phone cases, mugs, and more. Grab your favorite Sports Talk show gear today. Head on over to www.teepublic.com/user/TNC-sports-talk. All right, TNC Sports Talk. Justin and Trey is also brought to you by hour number 2 by SeatGeek. Hey, you guys, listen. Well, not Manscaped. Not Manscaped, you guys. Hey, next time you guys are looking to get your an event, all right? Next time you guys are looking to buy tickets to a concert, to a sporting event, whatever the case may be, you guys got to check out SeatGeek.com. They get your prices correct at the best, lowest price they could possibly offer to you. And if you, on your first purchase of $50 or more, save 20% at SeatGeek.com with promo code TNC Sports Talk. That is TNC Sports Talk.
Enjoy. Enjoy.
All right, hour number two. Let's get back on the right track. Let's get you guys another great hour here. I felt like, and I apologize for a little distraction here on the first end of the first hour. Had to deal with something. Got that taken away. We are set to go. Let me break down the NFL draft for the Cincinnati Bengals again. We talked about Daxton Hill. Okay, he is that junior coming out of Michigan. They think, the Bengals really do think highly of him. The fact that they pick him up in the first round. Not only that, for only having 3 seasons under his belt. All right, and from Michigan, which is, by the way, a very, very good program. Okay, I love what Michigan does. I mean, they're one of the conversation holders of all time. All right, 3 seasons. He's only played 36 games. All right, and I just don't see enough from him. Now, I don't know what the Bengals look at him that believe in Daxton Hill. But listen, this past season, he's played 14 games. He's had 42 solo tackles alone as a defensive back. He's also assisted in 27 tackles to making it 69 total tackles. Now, he's only tackled for a loss. Obviously, he's a D-back, he's 4.5 yards. All right. Also sacks. He's only had a half a sack. What role is he going to play? He's going to be playing that background, that back role back there. All right. So we talk about Daxton Hill. Let's compare the numbers to Cam Taylor. He's a defensive back. He's also a cornerback. He's more one-on-one. He spent 4 years in Nebraska. All right. He's 6 foot tall, 205 pounds. Good fraction for Cincinnati. And I also kind of imagine some of this work has to do with Cincinnati Bengals and what they're looking for individually. All right. And now totally he's played an average about 10 games a season. All right. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Let me put it that way. He's had a total of 96 tackles in his entire career in college. He's also added 16 assisted tackles, total of 51. He's lost for about 3 yards. I know that's not a big deal for cornerbacks. And he also got a 1 yard sack. He also got 1 sack. He has one interception last year with Nebraska, but he's also had 5 total on the season. How do you focus on the 1-to-1 matchups? I feel like that's going to be key. Interceptions returned. Listen, he's had 5 interceptions returned for 150 yards total. Interception returns yards per interception. They average about 30 yards after return, so he can find space, get up the field. Now, the one that he had last year brought him straight down. Didn't get much onto that. He didn't have any fumble recoveries last season, but pass defended 11 pass blocks on him. All right, let's take a look at Zachary Carter, a defensive lineman. Spent 4 years with Florida. Now he's he's 6'4", taller guy, heavier guy, the guy like we want, built 4 years. See how he could get off the ball here. He's played all 4 seasons. And it looks like he started for a lot of games in Florida. Games played. He's played in 12 last season, averaged about 11 or 10. Solo tackles, he picked up 15 last season with 16 assists. He's also had 11.5 yards, so nothing too fancy to be talked about when it comes down to Zachary Carter. Okay. Sacks, 7.5. Total of his college career was 17. Pass defenses, 2. And fumble forces. He's forced 1 last year. I'm starting to look down this list of guys that the Bengals picked up. Okay. All right. Take a look at Tayson Anderson, he was a safety. He's 6'2", 210 pounds. All right, a little bit more heavier on the backfield. All right, came from Toledo. All right, played 5 seasons. All right, whatever the asterisk marks indicates, bowl stats. Okay, so any team that was asterisk, he plays in bowls. He's played in. He's averaging about 10 games a start. I believe he got hurt in 2020 with the shortened season 2020. Okay, so what I'm seeing here as a safety, see, this is what numbers really get to him. He's had more experience, all right, 5 years, but he's tackled 26. He's lost 2 yards, 1 sack, all right, pass defenses 2. All right, so not yet again, nothing impressive. All right, let's get to the next person, Jeffrey Gunter. He's a defensive end, linebacker, 6'4", 260 pounds. Bigger guy, comes from the Sun Belt, Coastal Carolina, spent 4 seasons with the Coastal Carolina. All right, he's played practically the entire season each and every year. He's averaging about 10. He's had about 96 sacks, tackles on the season. All right, he's assisted about 15 of them. He's averaged about a total of 38.5 yards in this entire college career for losses. 17 sacks total, 5.5 last season. He's also interceptions he also had 3 interceptions in his career. 3 yards for interceptions, 1 interception last year. Pass defenses, he's averaging about 1 a season. All right, so let me give you my honest opinion. I feel like what we're going to be seeing this season is a difference of. I just don't personally feel that there is a lot that the defensive players that the Bengals picked up really had. And maybe I'm looking at the numbers wrong. If you're a defensive expert out there, come to me, let me know what I'm not seeing out of these guys. Now, I'm not saying that these guys are going to underperform, but what I am saying is that these guys need a little bit of more exposure, a little bit of work. And I understand. Listen, I understand how the 2020 season with the pandemic and the COVID protocols, how that could help, how that could ruin. And will we see the effect of that in the upcoming drafts, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, considering that guys have not played the entire college career? With that being said, I'm satisfied that the Bengals took away significant amount of defensive players, because the Bengals can always go back around and grab another few. I mean, you didn't need to focus in on your wide receivers. You didn't need to focus in on quarterbacks. Yes, picking up an offensive lineman would have helped, and they did. They picked up Cordell Vonson. He's from North Dakota State University. There's really nothing much on him. He was a 2021 Associated Press All-American First Team. 2021, I think he was also an athlon for All-American Team. There not much stats. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of stats on offensive lineman. He's a guard, all right? Or he's an offensive tackle. He's 300. Okay, he's a little on the heavier set, 13 pounds, all right? And he's 6'7", so a tall, big dude. And if he can perform well, I wouldn't say throw him out there on the left side of the field for Joe Burrow. Put him on the right side. But I feel like there's enough on him that you can simply. There's room for improvement, and I think that's a big deal. Now he's in shape. He's well fit. I think his size complements his weight. I say he's not going to. You don't look for Cordell to be your everyday starter right now. Look for him to be a backup. But I feel like he has a potential, especially with the 3 key guys. So, did the Bengals win this draft season? Obviously, we're not going to find out until the season starts. But we knew how much the defense needed to be improved. And the 6 guys that they've picked up at least has an opportunity to pay contribution to the Bengals defense this season. Let me make that apparent to each and every one of you. Okay, they have done enough to help. They will get that opportunity, and trust me, when it comes down to defense, and this is one thing that, when we want to talk about teams, and I understand on both offense and defense, they got to work together as a unit. Defense gets rotated on a cycle more often. Let me put it that way. Okay. You can go, they have more fresh guys at hand on defense, and everyone gets utilized some point during the game, majority of the time. Offense doesn't approach that way. Yeah, you have your receivers being checked in and out, your running back checking in and out, but the only guys on the field the entire time, regardless of the snap, is your offensive line and your quarterback, unless they get hurt. So I feel like this is a big one. Big one. All right. I think I want to step away from the NFL draft. I will talk to you about this story before break. On Sports Illustrated back yesterday, matter of fact, the Titans released veteran quarterback on Saturday night after taking Liberty star Malik Willis in the third round of the NFL 2022 draft. The Titans quarterback room became a little bit crowded. The AFC South franchise released a veteran quarterback on Saturday night as a result. According to the NFL insider Phil Yates, the Titans have released veteran quarterback Kevin Hogan. Hogan's a former Stanford star who was taken in the fifth round of the 2016 draft by the Kansas City Chiefs. He was released at the start of the following season, only to get picked up by the Cleveland Browns, where he spent the next 2 seasons. He also had a stop in Washington, Denver, Cincinnati, and then Tennessee. Hogan spent the majority of the 2021 season on the Titans practice squad. He was signed to a reserve/future contract with the organization on January 24th of this year. All right. Now, with Willis in the mix, all right, the next quarterback from Liberty, it kind of got picked up. Titans no longer need that veteran quarterback in Hogan. He has been released and will now try to find a new home. And trust me, there's a new home out there. Let's look into what your backups maybe for Carolina, backups for Atlanta. What about Seattle? Possibility. I don't know. Hogan's appeared in 9 games during the NFL career. He has a 59.4 career completion percentage with 621 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 7 picks. Not the greatest numbers, but you got to remember, when you're not getting that repetition out there, it'll be hard. It's a little more difficult. All right. So we talked that. I did also want to just repost and re-talk about this and mention this here. Something came across. The NFL draft stopped because of a schedule complex. Because during the draft, the Chargers and the Chiefs, I believe it was the Chargers, as a matter of fact, they announced that the first game on Amazon TV, because now Amazon's picking up Thursday Night Football. The first Amazon game on Thursday Night Football will be the Chargers and Chiefs in week 2. So we know the Chargers and Chiefs will get week 2, and that will be available on Amazon for Thursday Night Football. Anything else I need to pick up when it comes down to... No, that's it. I mean, Sam Bruce, former 4-star wide receiver from Miami, passes away at 24. Wish him and his family the best of luck in his endeavors. I think we're going to transition into a little bit of baseball, and then we'll wrap up on wrestling here. And I'll kind of get over the schedule that we have coming your way here next week, because it will be a little different. Trying to make up a little bit of time for time lost this week. So I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. We will be right back. Stay tuned. Justin Trey continues here next.
She shows up at the ballpark. She's thinking, yeah, foul ball, that'd be great. Don't need a shower, though.
Plus, is the food ruined?
Oh, yeah, those nachos are toast. She shows up at the ballpark. She's thinking, yeah, foul ball, that'd be great. Don't need a shower, though.
Plus, is the food ruined?
Oh, yeah, those nachos are toast.
Oh, gosh, I had to share that with you guys. Justin and Trey here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. I just found that. I'm going to repost up that link on our Facebook page. It was a guy trying to catch a foul ball who had a beer in his hand, and he ended up spilling it on his or on a female next to him. Don't know the companionship with that, but yeah, that that was she got drenched in alcohol there. All right, let's take a look around. We talk about baseball a little bit. I want to talk about some of the articles that came out before we get into wrestling. Justin and Trey here on a Sunday night. Trey's out on vacation, so I guess it's just the Justin show. But here's something interesting because actually came out about a couple hours ago. Kelsey Whitmore becomes the first woman to start a game in the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball. Last month, Whitmore becomes the first woman to appear in a ALPB game. Kelsey Whitmore will make history Sunday. Whitmore will start in left field and bat ninth for the expansion Staten Island Ferry Hawk of the Independent Atlantic League. The team announced she will be the first woman ever to start the Atlantic League game as we start expanding all that. Here's a good one. You could find this on Twitter at Atlantic League, which I'm going to write that down, by the way. So I could follow that on Twitter. Breaking news, Kelsey, this was the tweet that was announced. It showed a picture of Kelsey Whitmore. Will start in left field and bat ninth for the Ferry Hawks today. Kelsey will become the first woman to start a game in the Atlantic League history. All right. She quoted in a conversation, and I quote, "I'm very grateful and excited for this opportunity to sign with the Ferry Hawks," Whitmer said after signing with the team last month. "The culture and the competitiveness is of this ball club just feels right to be a part of. I've been working for an opportunity like this my whole life, and I'm ready to get after it and compete." Whitmore's 24 years old, became the first woman to play in a league associated with Major League Baseball last month when she entered Staten Island inaugural game as a pinch runner. She previously played for the Sonoma Stompers of the Independent Pacific League in 2016 and 17, going 2 for 26 at the plate. Whitmore's also pitched 3 innings. She also continued and said, "It's a great feeling." Whitmer told Rick Farlow of the Charleston Gazette Mail after making her debut last month, anytime on a ball field, it is the best feeling ever. It's been being surrounded by guys that have played at very high levels, major league levels, minor league levels. It's great to be surrounded by them and be a part of them. Prior to playing pro ball, Whitmore as a star softball player at Cal State Fullerton. She's been a member of the U.S. Women's National Team since 2014 and won gold in the 2015 Pan Am Games. The Ferry Hawks are managed by former Mets infielder Edgardo Alfonso, 2-time MLB All-Star Julio Teheran as among the players and on the ball club's roster. And I just thought that was pretty interesting. Reading an article that just came right down from it, I wanted to share with you since we had a little bit of time. MLB Prospect Watch, how Padres rookies C.J. Abrams and Mackenzie Gore are performing in the big leagues. This is coming from R.J. Anderson, was reported a couple of days ago. San Diego Padres don't have a star shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr., but they do have a solid record after the first 3 weeks of the Major League Baseball season. What's more is the Padres have 2 rookies with recognizable names in lefty Mackenzie Gore and shortstop C.J. Abrams, who is subject of his prospect watch. Now, like I said, this article is coming from R.J. Anderson, reported on April 29th at 11:10 a.m. Mackenzie Gore, so far this season, 1.76 ERA, 15 and a third innings pitch, only allowed 6 walks and pitched striked out 30 times as much, 20 strikeouts. Gore is only 23, and let's remember, you guys, Gore is one of those guys. I've heard a lot about Gore. Gore is one of those guys who was not optimistic. Okay, he's been in that minor league system and that prospect level for years, and I think the Padres fans were like, all right, this is a time where if you want to be there, you got to step up and perform, and Mackenzie Gore is starting to do that. Gore is 23. He started 3 games and compiled a 1.7 earned run allowed points. All right. And struck out 3.33% to walk ratio. So for every 3 batters he strikeouts, he walks 1. That's not bad as a rookie. All right. He's averaging just over 5 innings per pop, which is a consistent thing, considering that if the Padres, I know the Padres franchise and how they want to get back to the postseason. Well, if you want that, you got to get consistency out of these ball players. Mackenzie Gore providing that confidence, that securance that they need. When you think about that, all right, let's think about that for a second. Mackenzie Gore, all right, you got Mike Clevenger, who's out on the IL. I just been told, I got a phone call from my brother. He was like, hey, guess what I heard? Mackenzie Gore is going to be in Cleveland. Okay, it makes me want to drive to Cleveland now. When the Padres go to Cleveland to face the Guardians, all right, on Tuesday and Wednesday for a 2-game series. And Mackenzie Gore, not Mackenzie Gore, but Mike Clevenger is going to be pitching against them. Now, I'll have to look into, I don't know the actual league updates of that. I was like, that's a really great deal. Where do I sign up for that? Now, I mean, the Padres have been playing well. They just took 2 out of 3 against Pittsburgh here. They swept the Reds both at home and on the road here this prior week. They're going to Cleveland 5-1 on this road stance. All right. And I mean, I'm confident that they could beat the Cleveland Indians. It's worth noting that 2 of the 3 appearances against the Mackenzie Gore was against lowly Cincinnati Reds. Okay, I get that. So he hasn't faced really stepped up competition. Well, you know what though? Here's what I'll say against that. Let's build confidence. You give a guy like Mackenzie Gore a couple good outings, it gives him confidence to when he has to go face those Giants or those Dodgers or those Phillies or those other guys that are looking to contend. So I will take a win as a win, but when you're trying to build up a rookie and a guy who's has been dealing with struggles in the minor leagues for his entire career, and is at the point where fans are going to, or not fans, but sports nation, sports talk, local sports talks are starting to either say put up or shut up. In a sense, let's go out there and perform. So Mackenzie Gore was one of those relevant guys. He's coming up in with the Padres organization, finally getting with this expansion roster, trying to get an understanding on just where this, they finally brought him up, get him some work, and now I understand that MLB goes back down to 26, so they're gonna have to bring 2 guys back down. All right, next guy, C.J. Abrams. All right, he's batting. Now this was a young kid. He got drafted. I want to say 2 years ago, back during the draft. All right, and he was brought up this year. He's supposed to be a high prospect for the Padres. Now, he's been thrown out there. Let's remember that Fernando Tatis is not out. Remember, when he came into spring training with the Padres, he was injured. He had to get wrist surgery, and he was out. He's going to be out until mid-May. And so they brought C.J. Abrams to come up. So far, he's batting 146, 7 runs, 1 home run, 2 RBIs, 1 stolen base. Not the greatest numbers, but do you really expect through 13 games in his rookie season to come up and do and be phenomenal? No. I don't know if he has. I don't think he's had enough time in the minor leagues, and I feel like you develop once you get comfortable in the minor leagues, then you get brought up. Thing is, he's only 21 years old. He still has a lot of learning to do. He's missed most of last season after fracturing his leg and tearing his MCL in a collision with a teammate. Even now, including his big league stint, he has a fewer than 60 career games at or above the AA level. So all I'm saying is that I don't think he's ready yet. All right. But you know what? This is a good testament for the San Diego Padres. Let's figure out where CJ Abrams at. They brought him up on the 26-man roster. Bring him back down. Let him get some work in. Let him get some more at-bats. I'm not panicking. Don't panic if you're the Padres. Come on. Let CJ Abrams learn this, utilize this, say, hi, here's the taste of the big leagues. Now you know what you need to do to be successful. Go back into the ball club. Go back into single A with the Storms. Go back with the Sod Poodles. Go back with Chihuahuas and work your way and build yourself up. That's what I have to say about that. That's the San Diego Padres news and stats. I'm not going to get to any more. Okay. Could be here all day. Giants, I'm not going to really even get into that. What I wanted to get into, I don't even know if I posted this. I have to see here because it was headlines. Now, let me see what. Okay. I want to read this story here. I feel like this is important that we address this matter because it was breaking news as soon as I got off the air, like we always do on a Friday. Breaking news comes into play. All right. Once again, we saw another breaking news coming out, more unraveling in this feud. Well, not in feud, but in this allegation. So with Trevor Bauer, the starting pitcher, former with the Cleveland Indians, all right, now who are the Cleveland Guardians, who got traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers. All right. Going from the Los Angeles Dodgers, there's been some allegations that was made on Trevor Bauer through some domestic abuses. All right. It's been apparent and see what happens. And listen, just like what Johnny Depp is going through too, and I wish him the best of luck, it can tear a guy up regardless. And here's the thing with MLB and the NFL, regardless, because we've seen this with Deshaun Watson, you know, with the Cleveland Browns. The NFL still has to make a proposal on their punishment. They conduct their own investigation after the court system settles. So Trevor Bauer is suspended for 2 seasons by Major League Baseball. All right. The Dodgers pitchers is on an appeal ban. All right. So let me read this. There was an article. I was brought to this. All right. I was brought to this on Thursday. I had to listen to it. I listened to a video, read some articles. Aiden Gonzalez from ESPN puts out an article, and this is what I'm going to actually go off of here. But so let's remember that there was no allegation. So he was not convicted from anything in the judicial system. But Trevor Bauer is now facing consequences from the Major League Baseball Association. Major League Baseball has announced a 324 game season suspension for the Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer on Friday. All right. That is an equivalent to 2 full seasons. By far the most severe punishment handed out under the sports domestic violence policy ever. This is worse than being banned. I feel like this is worse being banned in, entire life. Bauer promptly released a statement announcing he was appealing this suspension, thus becoming the first player to contest punishment through MLB's domestic violence policy. And I quote, "In the strongest possible term, I deny committing any violation of the league's domestic violence and sexual assault policy." Quote, Bauer's statement read, let me continue it. And I quote, "I am appealing this action and expect it to prevail. As we have throughout this process, my representatives, sorry, I apologize, stumbling over this word, and I respect the confidentiality of the proceedings. Quote, Bauer's 31 was accused of sexual assault by a San Diego woman who requested a restraining order and essentially alleged that he took consensual rough sex too far over the course of two encounters last April and May. An LA judge denied that the woman is permitted restraining orders in August, and the LA County District Attorney's Office declined to file criminal charges in February. But MLB has the autonomy to suspend the player without a criminal conviction, and spoke to the woman who also said that had been assaulted by Bauer. Now, listen, this is both in baseball and football. Let me remind you guys, when it comes down to baseball, when it comes down to football, whatever the judicial system holds, that is all there is to it. Okay, can't deny that. Okay, what we're looking at is that after that happens, then it's MLB's association's responsibility to see if the matter should be taken further. After hours of suspension, it was announced. Washington Post published an interview with the woman from Columbus, Ohio, who accused of the pitcher of choking her unconsciously without her consent dozens of times during her years-long sexual relationship. I'm just going to stop it out there. So let me put it this way. Bauer joined the Dodgers on a 3-year deal, $102 million contract in February of 21. On the heels of winning the National League Cy Young Award during the COVID-19 short season of 2020, all right, he spent last 81 regular season games on administrative leave, plus an additional 18 to begin the 2018-2022 season. But this 324 game of suspension will doesn't begin until Friday, which means he doesn't get credit for the previous time serviced. So it became initiated on Friday. All the time that he's already paid doesn't follow through. So you're looking at the soonest at the top of his career, because he's at the highlight point of his career. Trevor Bauer, all right, former Cleveland Indians, former Cincinnati Reds, will not get paid, will not be able to play for at least a minimum of 2 years. At this moment, now a payroll, an appeal rate can occur, and we could see what happens going from there. But just like the Johnny Depp situation, which I think a lot of people are frustrated about in itself, you got to understand that just one small term, and this, I guess this is one thing I hate, and we'll talk about this at another point. Even if you weren't convicted, doesn't mean that you're innocent. But if you really didn't do anything, your career's over. Look at Johnny Depp. His career is over. Yet again, his, on the other side, she's still doing movies. Same thing goes for now Trevor Bauer. His career is over. And who knows what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson with the Browns. That's still wait to be appealed. All right, we're going to come back, wrap up our show. Justin and Trey will take you guys up until 8 o'clock tonight on a Sunday. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Build you up, you break me down, tear everything apart. I give you all I can, but then you go and break my heart. But this ain't true love, boo. But this ain't true love, this ain't me right here, so I'm gonna leave you. Can be with someone who doesn't care. You're running away from our problems. So here we stand on the edge tonight. There's no turning back now. I've been weak for 3 damn weeks.
All right.
Getting straight, no, I can't eat. I cry and I cry and I cry and I cry the way I cry. It's time to say goodbye. This is what I do.
Justin and Trey here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube live channel. Let's get you right back to the action, and let's wrap up our show here on a Sunday night right after this quick ad. Justin and Trey here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. So let me kind of just explain something to you guys and how things are going to work down this week. All right. I know things have been off so far, and I apologize for, not showing up on Wednesday. I had a family issue. Not showing up yesterday. Had another issue. Excuse me. Sorry. But I understand that, and I apologize. So what we're going to do here next week is I'm going to have a show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, we're going to go marathon for you guys. Again, 6 days next week for you guys. Let's cover some wrestling. Let's cover some baseball, some football. Let's cover whatever you guys want to talk about. Come on in here and let us know. Thank you guys for tuning in to us here on a Sunday. Let's talk about it. All right. Listen, we want to give our sponsor shout out once again to SeatGeek. Save 20% off on your first purchase of $50 or more with promo code TNC Sports Talk at SeatGeek.com. That is 20% off with promo code TNC Sports Talk at SeatGeek.com. You guys can also save 20% off plus worldwide free shipping with Manscaped at Manscaped.com with promo code TNC20. That is 20% off and free shipping with promo code TNC20 at Manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the Manscaped job. All right. I also like to give a shout out to our TeePublic website or TeePublic shop. If you guys want to head over to www.teepublic.com/user/TNC-sports-talk for all your information. If not, just go down to the description down below. Click on the link and take you right to our page. All right. I want to give a shout out to Spreaker. All right. Spreaker. If you're a podcaster, you want to start collecting funds, you want to spread out, your worldwide of sports of your podcast and have other people heard you. Listen, by joining Spreaker earlier this week, we're on Apple Podcasts. Google Podcasts is still waiting, but we're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. Like there's just so much to offer. I mean, I really truly mean that. I'm talking about, and then you could add just certain things to really help boost yourself, boost your confidence, boost the show. Let me look at the distributions. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spreaker. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. I'm still waiting for Google Podcast. All right. We're still waiting for Castbox. I'm not on Facebook Podcast. I don't know why. We're on Deezer. We're on Podcast Addict. We're on Geo Savan. Trying to, I'll probably try to submit some other ones on Amazon Music. I'm working on that. Bear with me there. Yeah. So Spreaker.com, it's kind of giving us that new platform, trying to encourage us, trying to motivate us to move forward. All right. Wrestling story is here, by the way. I wanted to tell you this one story. For the first time, I just want to give a shout out once again. We just played a NWF ad right there. All right. I want to give a shout out to NWF, NWF in their wrestling promotion, because what they have done, they just got done through a spring fling the other day, back on Friday. Now I was gonna go out to Fairfield yesterday, got caught up. Things were getting, I had to get some things done. Just it wasn't turning out to be the best, and I ended up going to the Bone Crushers last Friday night, and trust me, probably from my understanding, this is my first time because I normally work on Fridays. By the time I get out there, it's over with. So I went out there because there was a few things going on. One, I got to talk with do some business and talk to some people. Two, I wanted to support Sean Evans and the Great King Titan. All right, phenomenal match. They had a Texas Tornado match with Sinclair and I think Chris Demias on Friday. They also had I got to get a chance to see my buddy over there. His ring name is Elijah Allen, right? And a really great guy. Go follow him on YouTube, on Facebook. All right, go follow all these guys on Facebook. All right, keep up with the social profile. Got a chance to see some great people. Got a chance to see Riley Matthews perform for the first time. Which was honestly incredible. I really enjoyed it. And got to see a tables match. I mean, this was really a go big, go home show, and they went big and they executed. So, really enjoyed the product. Hopefully, I could get out there from time to time again. Didn't miss the Fairfield one. That was the outdoors one, the first one. I was a little skeptical. I was like, it's supposed to rain. It failed at raining. I mean, so bipolar. It said it was supposed to be a thunderstorm. No thunderstorm. So I am, so I went out to Bone Crushers on Friday. So, next big event is coming up this Saturday at Lolo. Got to be there. All right. I know I'm planning on headed out there if I can. Also, I am, you got the Women's Revolution Rising on May 28th. And just want to thank the NWF and PGWA for all of their work for putting this together. The first time down here. Can't wait to go. That's May 28th. You guys can get your tickets. I believe you guys should be able to get your tickets, but a great match card. All women's wrestling. So check them out. All right, a couple articles I want to get to before the end of our show. Just reported yesterday that Brian Myers is a free agent again. All right. AKA Brian Myers. Kurt Hawkins is a free agent again. The former WWE star recently appeared in the Battleground podcast. During the talk, he confirmed that his contract with Impact Wrestling has expired. The wrestling veteran noted that Matt Cardona has been wrestling on the independent circuit. He said that he is along for the ride with the former Zack Ryder as they continue to wrestle all over the country. Myers was released by the WWE contract from his WWE contract in April 2020. He was his second run. It was his second one with the company, which lasted about 4 years. He returned to Impact Wrestling in July after his no compete contract clause expired. He has been a featured member of the Impact roster ever since. Myers led a faction called the Learning Tree in the promotion. Excuse me. The stable had lasted several months. Also included VSK and Zicky Dice. All right. He then reunited with his longtime partner Matt Cardona and the duo as a major players in Impact's unsuccessfully challenged for the Impact Tag Team titles at the Rebellion pay-per-view earlier this month. Before his release in 2020, Myers was spent the majority of his wrestling career with the WWE. His first one was with the organization started in 2006 and lasted into 2014. Okay, I'm not going to read that one. You know how you're reading articles, other things pop up. There you go. There's a list of guys that come out here in the WWE or that go to WWE, come out, and then they decide to come back as bigger stars, or they make a name for themselves. We see, for example, Cody Rhodes. He's left the company, made a big name for himself, and I don't think if it wasn't for him leaving, what if it wasn't for him doing what he was doing, I don't think that's what would have happened. So kudos to Cody Rhodes. Matt Cardona is living that proof that WWE isn't all that everything. You could go out and promote yourself and make a name for yourself. The Inspirations did that, which, by the way, they dropped their title back last week, and they claim that they're no longer wrestling any longer. Now, here's an article also I wanted to share with you guys. This is coming from the SB Nation. All right, K-Side Stats. Roman Reigns had a short message for The Rock while sending WWE London crowd home happy. All right, this is a mess. Ooh, I'm not gonna play this. I'm gonna play it in my background. All right. So first off, London was very excited to acknowledge their tribal chief during the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match main event against Drew McIntyre yesterday. Okay, well, not yesterday, but Friday night, right? Okay, we got that far. That kind of reaction is why Roman Reigns has been doing the "thank you for coming, please drive home safe" promo at the end of the night on house shows. He may be playing a paranoid heel, but he's still the biggest, most charismatic star they have. I could completely agree. At last, on the men's roster, Roman, okay, at least on the men's roster. Let me not get mistaken on this one here. Apparently, he had a speech at the end of the match. That's 2 minutes and 21. I'm not going to get to the speech. It is while the head of the table was delivering the message back on Friday at the O2 Arena that someone in the crowd shouts out something about his cousin Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Might be Roman Reigns' opponent at WrestleMania 39 next spring. All right. His NBC sitcom Young Rock even seems to be setting it up. So when Roman casually retorts, "Yeah, The Rock can get it too," after telling the fans he's an ass kicker, not a singer. I get okay. Is this something to go off of? I mean, I'm not doubting that this is or isn't, but is this something to go off of when Roman Reigns says, "Yeah, The Rock can get it too," after telling fans he's an ass kicker, not a singer? I'm not going to play the entire. I'm not playing the. Well, you want to. I mean, it's a minute 25 minutes. Let's play it. Let's leave you off of that. I don't know why. Let's just go ahead and leave you off of that because I want you to see what I'm seeing here. So here we go. So let's see what they have to say on Twitter.
I'm going to try to get a couple things. I want you to see it. I'm going to ask you, I don't know the same. So I want you, The Rock can get it to you. And I want y'all to get home safely tonight. And I want y'all to have a great night, okay? We appreciate y'all.
All right, that's enough. I don't know if you caught that. You have to rewind it if you didn't. I'm not going to get too far into that, but I don't know. That's pretty something. Listen, Roman Reigns is one of those guys. He's given everything he's got. I mean, he's loving the company. He's loving what he's doing with the business. I don't blame him for what he's doing. But yeah, I think a lot of people are still wanting to see Roman and Rock. And I feel like if you can sell this at the proper time, and that's why I'll leave it off of that. If you could sell this match at the proper time, okay, then I strongly believe that they will have probably the biggest event in the last 20 years of professional wrestling. I really do. I strongly believe that. I apologize for the glare. I don't have the blinds blocking me, but wrap up the show. I strongly, this, we're going to be talking about this for the next year because that's what we want to see. Will we see it happen? I could say confidently, maybe, but listen, you don't do any of that. You just can't promise. I'll put it that way. All right, a couple other things where we'll wrap it up the show. We have an article coming up on Tuesday. WWE legend reacts to Sonya Deville's interview. Says fire him immediately. We'll find out what that's about. Also, we'll talk about WWE's reveals Clash at the Castle. Ooh, is that the UK event? WWE is currently touring the United Kingdom. During the most recent live event at the O2 Arena, superstar Drew McIntyre had a surprise announcement of fans. And McIntyre revealed that the WWE will be heading to Principality Stadium in Cardiff, Wales, in its first major stadium event in the UK, and its title is Clash at the Castle. The event will be taking place on Sunday, September 3rd, and tickets are available to be purchased at the upcoming event right there. So that's going to be a big event. That will be posted up on our show, on our stream, on our Facebook channel. And I won't leave it as that. So, well, hey, a week has come and gone. I appreciate, it hasn't been the greatest week, but I appreciate your guys' efforts and your guys' commitment to stay with us. It feels empty that Trey's on vacation, but you know what? It is all well said and done. Thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy your guys' week. Hopefully everyone goes well. We'll see you guys back here on Tuesday. Justin and Trey is out for the week. We'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned. Take care. Have a great one.